I can't believe this mother couldn't fathom that her kids got expelled from a Christian school and you're having an OnlyFans account. I applaud the school for expelling the kids. They warned her. It's not like they just said to her, you're expelled. No, they told her, like, listen, like this is not cool with their values. And in a time in America where God is getting thrown out the window, this school stood up for their beliefs. They stood up for the other community members. Like if I'm bringing my kids to school, to a Christian school, I want to make sure that they're going to have Christian values. I want to make sure that everything in that Christian school goes against the core of my beliefs. Listen, do everything on your own. Like if you want to put it in your, like again, don't put it on your car or whatever, drop the kids off at the end of the school. Don't bring it into our community and you're fine. But they told her that. And then she didn't abide by it. She did her own thing. And then the kids got expelled. Yeah. There was no gray area.
So for you, it's black and white.
It was black and white. Okay. This is wrong.
Welcome back to the DC Talks podcast with David Chinelli. I'm your co-host, Agent Double O Onosinde, back in here at DC headquarters to give you an interesting episode that DC and I wanted to talk about. And that is this story of this Christian mom who has an OnlyFans account. But before we get into that, the main man, Chinelli, how you doing, man?
Doing well, brother. How you doing?
Good.
It's been a while.
It's been a while, man.
Did you miss me?
Of course, man. I just want to say I appreciate you, and I'm just super excited to pod with you as always.
Appreciate you as well.
So buddy. I feel that I just gotta share that, give you roses as I'm in front of you. That's one habit that I'm starting to do is like give people their appreciation while.
I love that, man.
When they're in front of you.
Well, I love you, brother. You too, Isaac. Thanks again.
Isaac Bob in the background.
Does all of our audio. And again, in case you don't know, we record a bunch in one setting, so we don't see each other as often as might seem online. So it's like. So when we see each other, we generally do love each other, I think. Maybe Isaac doesn't love us as much as we love each other, but maybe.
Yeah, when we're doing this for this long, it becomes more than the podcast. It becomes like a camaraderie, a brotherhood.
And this is an example of this, guys. Like, so I was on TikTok or Facebook, I think one day.
Facebook,
I can't remember which one it was. And this Candace Owen, I love Candace Owen. And,
I do too.
She's just a breath of fresh air, And it's not always because, when it comes to Christian values or something happens, I find that it's like, I get some pushback because sometimes it's the white males and saying about like, and the government's saying you're so far right. For those who don't know who Candace Owen is, like, she's a pretty black, she's like, she has her own show. I think she's a personality. And she has kids of her own, married, she talks about her loving her husband, loving her family, she's for women's rights, but she's also for like Christian rights. She's just a genuine person. And when she speaks, I listen, because again, I like to look at the perspective. Obviously I'm married, have two girls too. I would love for my kids to grow up as a strong, independent woman like Candace Owen is. And she believes, regardless of what she says out of her mouth, she stands up for what she believes in.
She's authentic.
She's very authentic. So I watched a bunch of her videos, and this one hit me at a different spot. So I had to share it with you and said, I think we should talk about this.
We should definitely talk about it. Yeah. Before we get into the conversation, we're going to play the video right now.
This morning, controversy near Orlando after a Florida private school expelled 2 children over a dispute with their mother. At issue, a sticker on Michelle Klein's car promoting her OnlyFans page. At first, the school asked Klein not to bring the car on campus unless the decal was removed and urged her to drop her kids off across the street.
I was forced to have to, take it off or not come on campus.
And then the school sent a letter saying your family's enrollment with LCPS is terminated effective immediately, accusing Klein of promoting a pornographic website, but still offering the possibility to re-enroll her kids if she removes the sticker.
All right, so we just came back from watching the video. DC, when you saw this, what were your initial thoughts when you saw it?
There were so many thoughts running in my head. Like, first off, like, I can't believe this mother couldn't fathom that her kids got expelled from a school, a Christian school, and you're having an OnlyFans account. So I applaud the school for expelling the kids. They warned her. It's not like they just said to her, hey, lady, you're expelled. No, they told her, like, listen, like, this is not cool with their values. And in a time in America where, values are literally getting thrown out the window. God is getting thrown out the window. This school stood up for their beliefs. they stood up for the other community members. Like if I'm bringing my kids to school, to a Christian school, I want to make sure that they're going to have Christian values. I want to make sure that everything in that Christian school goes against the core of my beliefs. To allow a person who's blatantly talking about pornography, that's what she was doing. I don't care how you're
promoting it.
Yeah, promoting it. Listen, do everything on your, like, if you want to put it in your, like, again, don't put it on your car or whatever, drop the kids off at the end of the school. Don't bring it into our community and you're fine. But they stood up and said, no, you continue to do that, you're going to get expelled. I love the fact they gave her the warning. They told her that, and then she didn't abide by it. She did her own thing, and then the kids got expelled.
Yeah.
So there are consequences to your action. I know, as a kid who went to a private school, you know, Catholic school, I can see something like this happening to something like that. Like there was no gray area.
So for you, it's black and white.
It was black and white. Okay. This is wrong. Like, I don't care how you supplement your income. Like, listen, at the end of the day, you are the one that signed up your kids to go to a Christian school that has Christian values, Christian morals, and then you do this. No, your kids should have got expelled. 100%.
So I agree with you 100%, right? But let's look at it on the other side. Let's look at the situation as it is. So this is a lady who has this sticker decal on her vehicle, which shows her OnlyFans link. DC, at grounds level, it's just a sticker, right? Whatever you do with that sticker, it is what it is.
Well, why stop there? Why not put the Baphomet or an upside down cross on the back of your car? It's just a sticker.
But it's situation by situation, right? If we look at the sticker as a sticker, and these are kids too. So if that car is in the park.
Exactly.
But they don't know what OnlyFans is.
Well, exactly. So now they're going to start asking.
But again, when you go on OnlyFans, right, there's a paywall behind it, right? You have to showcase your ID and everything. So
come on, Owen.
No. I get it. But I'm just trying to show you like a different nuance over here. So the thing is, if it's just that, if it's a car that's not permanently on the lot, and she just comes there, drops her kids off, and she goes back home, you think it's right for the kids to face the punishment for the mom's actions?
Yes.
But these are little kids, and you as a Christian, don't you think the school should have like,
well,
you know
then
what?
That's going to be an interesting conversation to your kids. And like, because it's not like, again, so the school had warned them, that warned her not to do this, because what's happening is that the other kids in school too know they're not just all little kids or just naive. So the older kids are knowing that too, or coming home to their parents and saying, what's an OnlyFans? What's this? I do. Well, how come so-and-so's mom's doing this? And don't tell me later on the older kids aren't going to be looking up for their mom. Like, come on, let's be honest. Like, don't tell me they're not going to be searching that kind of stuff.
They're going to be curious.
Yeah. So what I think that the school is actually doing a favor to the kids, because you've seen all these kids. We heard like this 13-year-old kid, like he was 13 years old, almost tried to commit suicide because his mom was doing an OnlyFans and they were teasing him at school. He almost wanted to end his own life because of the actions of his mother. So to think that the actions of your parents or you as an adult have no consequences to your kids are naive. We are supposed to be the pillars for our kids. We are supposed to be the standard of how our kids live their everyday life. So if you do an OnlyFans, all I'm saying is, if you did an OnlyFans, right? Do your OnlyFans, do whatever you need to do, but don't promote it in front of your kids.
So you're saying she can do the OnlyFans, but don't promote it publicly on your car with a sticker decal.
Yeah. Listen, I personally don't think anybody should be doing the OnlyFans. That's just one thing. I like pornography is, it's.
Is it the fact that it's OnlyFans, or maybe if it was something along the lines of, let's say she's selling feet photos on OnlyFans, would you have an issue with that?
But
let's say, because I think the issue here is like, if we look at the situation from like a black and white situation, it's on OnlyFans.com. It's a web address.
Sure.
And it says, check out feet photos. Would that, because I want to understand.
So because the brand itself, 90% of them is not feet photos.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
There was, one of my mortgage brokers, I went to a party a couple of years ago, which there was, I think he was working with Equitable Bank, and he had a client. And his client, all she does, she made $1 million in 2022, I think it was.
Selling pics?
No, all she did is she put a film, like, never see her face, and she just did live streams of her working out. She made $1 million.
Working out naked?
No.
Just working out.
Tight clothes.
Everything.
Yeah. You're not seeing anything. Nothing pornographic on it. But the problem is like if you're aligning yourself up with
a Christian school,
and a pornographic site. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you get, unfortunately, you get painted with the same brush. So it's against Christian values. Why stop there? Why not just put Pornhub on your car?
That's true.
It's the same thing. Because people don't know the difference.
Yeah.
So you may be selling pictures of your feet, but in reality, like no one's going to even like, first of all, you're probably not like, I don't know if you're making money at that too, but I'm just saying, but that's not in their mind where most people see.
Yeah. So in this story, it was interesting because the school didn't do anything for some time until a parent said something about it, right? So the school was really like, whatever.
They may not have been aware of it.
They might not have been aware of it. But then another mom comes and says, you know what? This is actually not right. You guys should do something about it. Then the school gives her the warning, hey, if you don't take this thing off your car, we're not to take actions behind it.
Right.
Do you believe we're giving too much authority to the regular civilian? Right? Meaning that...
No, but listen, you can't be everywhere all the time. So maybe a drop off and pick up. Maybe most of the parents, the teachers don't see. If you're dropping them off, maybe they didn't see that. Right? So, but if one parent is talking about it, how many other parents were uncomfortable of what they saw and just didn't say the same thing? They're just kind of scared to say anything. How many? So I actually champion that. I don't think it's giving too much power to them. Now, we're not talking about feelings. We're not talking about, I feel like I'm a lamp today. I'm going to change my gender 15,000 times in 5 minutes because I feel different. That's not what we're talking about. That's way different. This is actual legitimate. I would say this is like, my kids are asking about this. Like, it's blatantly against the curriculum. It's blatantly against it.
Yeah.
So there's no black and white in that kind of sense.
Would you see this differently if it was a public school?
Yeah, I would.
You would, eh?
I would.
How would you see it?
I would say because public school, everything is kind of accepted, right? So if you wanted to not have a problem with your OnlyFans, if your kid's in a public school, God's already gone out of that public school already. There's no, the sense of morality should be much different in a Christian school than it is in a public school. Public school is supposed to be more accepting of other religions, other facets of life, other moral
ways of earning money.
Sure.
Yeah. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So you're paid. The funny thing is, I'm pretty sure it was a private school. It's a private school. So she's paying good money to go to that school. Well, what are you paying for that school for? If you're paying for the values, you're just slapping the school in the face.
Yeah.
No one's forcing you to go to that school. So I don't mean, again, I'm going to talk about that.
Yeah.
No one's forcing you to go to that school. You put your kids in that school for a reason. Be a Christian then. If you're a Christian, act like a fucking Christian. Excuse me, like that didn't help with me swearing. But act like a Christian.
Yeah.
Don't pretend. Don't be lukewarm. Jesus talked about this before. Either be hot or be cold. Don't be lukewarm or I will spew you out. That is a prime example of being spewed out, trying to have it every way. What are you telling your kids? Oh, and if you brought your OnlyFans in and I was a Christian school, I'd probably punch you in the face. I'm surprised people didn't do something else.
Or break the window.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking too how things have evolved, right? Because you're very passionate about this because I think it goes against your beliefs. Yeah. So the central point here is... And
I went to a private school, so I get it. Like, you're paying the money, and I understand how much they're paying for it. You have the fucking choice to go somewhere else.
Yeah. Your choice, you're paying that money to be secluded from everything else that could be interfering with your true beliefs. You want to be surrounded by people who believe in what you believe and as a Christian person. And it got me thinking again, right? The beliefs we hold about ourselves that we could chastise other people for what they believe. So for example, the MAGA hat, right? Whenever you saw the MAGA hat, it was something that was like, whoa, like you are that person. Oh my God, you are a racist. You are a XYZ. But then
I love when black people wear the MAGA hat, by the way.
Right. So
that's my favorite thing.
So you wear, so for example, like let's say Kanye West, he wears a MAGA hat.
Oh, it's not Kanye.
Right.
Poor Kanye. Which clone of Kanye is wearing it?
Let's say
that's a lot of time.
the original Kanye, right? He wears a MAGA hat. So, and DC, you have to think about it. This is just a hat that says "Make America Great Again." during the pandemic, when people were getting into entrepreneurship, online e-commerce, they're starting their store, some of these Wix, Shopify, Squarespace, all these e-commerce hosting companies were banning people from selling Donald Trump gear because you are quote unquote promoting hate. So, but if you look at these are just regular civilians who have a different political view from you, but the fact of you seeing that hat or saying "Make America Great Again," you already think their ideology sees things as like, if I see anyone Black or Islamic or anything like that, we don't want them in our country. We think they are they're here just to ruin the Americanness of America. But it's just like "Make America Great Again." But even for me as a Black person, right? When I saw that,
you're Black.
When you think about Donald Trump saying "America Great Again," it wasn't the eradication of let's keep our superior as this like white Anglophone American way of doing things, like the all-American type of thing. I think you're saying from an industrious level, like let's make America a great superpower economically.
I don't think Donald Trump was wrong with any things he was saying.
He wasn't. But
but the left media made him like vilified him. Like,
vilified him.
It was ridiculous what they did to him. And I'm like, and I've had this conversation with Natalie over and over again. I do not think Donald Trump is a good man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't think, and I don't think any of them are. Like, you know, like I think Biden is also a racist.
They're sickos.
I actually don't think Donald Trump is very racist compared to Biden. He's like, he's an angel.
Mm-hmm.
Is he an adulterer? Yes. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Was he found at Epstein's Island? Probably. Is he a pedophile?
100%.
Who knows? I don't know. I don't know what they've done on that thing. But when I talk to my friends in the US, like when Donald Trump was running the country there, they had so much prosperity.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to bring all of work back into the US. You know, he tried to put a stand against, you know, the border crossing. They were flourishing before the pandemic. Like
jobs were high.
They were doing well. Great.
Yeah.
You know, so. But he was also, listen, at the end of the day, and I'll say this over and over again, all politicians are political puppets. Him, they weren't getting to. Like, I still think he's a puppet, a certain thing, but I don't know what role he has to play in this.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the other puppets, you can see who they've been bought up by because you just follow their campaign, who they were bought up by.
Yeah.
It's simple. It's easy. And then there's also some other satanic things that also happen in there, whatever, right? You can talk about Bohemian Grove and all that other stuff. But anyway, but my point to that is that if you look at the man who was saying, like, some of the stuff he says was actually right, and they will never let you know. There's rallies in which he's, you know, there's one I just saw he offered a veteran, like she was a veteran who wasn't able to, she's a Black girl, like a veteran. He offered a job on the spot. He goes, if everything works out, the pay works out, you have a job.
Yeah.
Because she was struggling. He didn't go to him like, oh, you're Black and stuff too. Like, I haven't seen him do any racist things. So for the media to call him racist is a joke. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think, sure, call him what he is. Yeah, you've screwed over every single business partner you've ever been around. Yeah, you're not a good man. You're screwed that way. You've cheated on your wife. Yes, right. You've done that. Again, he was on Epstein's Island. Who knows what he did there? Sure, those things are a thing, but you also can't say that he didn't do a lot of good things for the country. That's all I'm saying. So to tell people that by wearing a hat, it encompasses all this thing, it just gets people riled, and all it does, and we've said this over again, it divides a country and divides household, it divides people. That should not be the case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you kind of get into this whole church and state thing, right? Which
makes no sense.
Makes no sense. And even it kind of gets in where we are looking at what we do in our offline hours.
Yep.
And then what we do for employment or where we go to school. So for example, I can apply to a job and the person who's looking at my resume, let's say they go on my Instagram or they go on my Twitter, they see, I may not even have posted something, but they saw that I like to post, which goes against what they believe in. So now you're using that as a way to exclude me from an opportunity. And I think that's where things are going now, where we're not segmenting things that are separate from what we do professionally from the things that we do socially. So for example, like let's say someone is a Donald Trump supporter, but they're an excellent editor, videographer, but they're a great person. And I'm like, no, man, I'm just like a conservative person. I believe what I believe. Yeah. And that's what I do. I'm not seeing.
Well, I'm wondering if I was to apply to a job now, would I even be not qualified? Would I be hired?
No.
I'm white, you know, I'm Christian.
They'll
I'm pretty much right wing at
Yeah.
this point. You know what I mean? I'm not transgender. I don't believe it.
They don't.
I don't believe in abortion.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. There's so many things. I'm just
you are
so
not
Christian.
the minority.
I know. But you've seen like how schools, I showed you that one thing where Waterloo, if you're a white heterosexual male, don't even apply for certain grants and things like that. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, so I would be bankrupt. Like, like there's no way I could survive.
And I don't think that's right either. Right. I think we're profiting from this whole marginalization of certain communities. And I think it's a lot of things, maybe, those things exist, but we're like, man, we can, and I had this conversation on many podcasts before. I'm like, man, you can still succeed even though you are from a particular minority group. But I think what's happening now is, I guess you as like a white male, you live in a Western society, very successful. In the eyes of them, you're seen as someone who's robbing people of opportunities. And
little they know, behind the scenes, I'm helping.
You're grinding. There's this DEI, right? We're talking about equality, but it's more of like an equality of outcome. Even though you are here, we have to make sure that this person ends in the same place as you, even though we remove merit. Is one thing to say someone was born on first base
or with a silver spoon,
and act like they hit a triple, right? And there's one thing to say someone hit the ball and made from 1, 2, 3, and they made it home. But we're trying to get someone on third base already without going through the first and second base. So that's the thing that we're coming in. And I think the story of this mom, what really stuck out to me is like, I truly believe, by the way, I'm on your side of like the Christianity, but I wanted to have a more nuanced conversation from a perspective of, we think that, and I see the passion you have behind it, but I'm like looking at the other side.
Okay, so tell me, what would be the argument against this? So if you were in an agreement with me, we'll come back to this stuff. What would you say to me? So what was her argument again?
Her argument is this, is like,
I know what her argument is, but in case those people didn't watch the whole video, what is her argument?
Her argument is that, listen, the school has seen this car on the parking lot for the past 2 years. They haven't done anything about it. It's not only until someone was another mom's like, oh my God, you have an OnlyFans sticker on your car, right? It's not like she was, she didn't come out and say, hey guys, I'm on OnlyFans or whatever. It was a sticker on her car. She's going about her business. And there could be other stickers you can also have that might go against your beliefs. And beliefs in Christianity could be anything. It could be, you can say, let's say, you say you swear a lot. Right, so you can actually have.
I'm trying to stop that.
you can have like a plate number which says FUCK in a unique way, but it doesn't. If you read it optically, you can say it says fuck.
Yeah.
You as someone as passionate as you are, now that's grounds for expelling Matea, right, and Mila from school.
Well, give me a warning first, and I'm like, so I would want to be, and I know that they did this. So come and talk to me, see how I'm violating. The guideline.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I was like, and if I agree, I'm like, well, what did you mean? What was your intention by this? Again, let's talk about intention. So let me explain. Sorry. So I would go back to her, and this is her argument as well, was that this is how I earn money. What does he care about what I do behind closed doors? But you're bringing closed doors now into the public is what you're doing. Right? Do you not see that? So what is the difference if you're doing that or bringing like I said, KKK or something else? And I was like, well, it was fine. You didn't say anything to me before. It doesn't mean it wasn't correct. Just because somebody didn't notice it before doesn't mean it's correct. And honestly, like my point with too is like we said before, is like, well, why are you bringing your kids to the school? Like
to a Christian school.
Like why did you do that? Like what was your reasoning for that? And your intent. So wait a second. What was your intent by putting that sticker on there? What was her intent? Now you can answer. What is her intent by putting the sticker on there?
Her intent is to get young men and women over 18 to go watch her and her husband have sex behind.
Is her husband too having sex on there too?
Yeah. It says her and her husband. So listen.
Okay, whatever.
This is a married couple too. So it's not like they're doing anything wrong. They're just photographing and videographing themselves.
But when you say nothing wrong, okay, in what kinds of legislation or law are you saying doing nothing wrong? Is it man's law? Is it God's law? Is it Christian law? Like by what standard are you saying they're doing nothing wrong?
In God's law, right? This is a couple that is married,
Correct.
right? And they're having intercourse.
Okay.
They're having intercourse, which is according to the Bible, but
what are they instilling in people watching them?
sexual immorality,
Lust.
lust.
One of the 7 deadly sins.
Yeah.
Right? Now, is lust a work of the devil or the work of God?
The devil, of course.
So, okay, go on with the argument. So in God's law, so you've already said, so in God's law, they're not doing anything wrong, but their intent is to create lust and individuals watching them in order to make money.
Mm-hmm.
How is that not hurting God's law?
It's hurting God's law. Like it's one thing to chastise them, but my issue is the kids facing the consequences.
They just bring them down the school, down the street.
But like I'm from a school perspective, you have you can have the discernment to look at it. I'm like, you know what? These kids are great kids. They have a life here. They have friends. They have everything. They've built so much equity into this school.
But wait a second. If the parents are doing this behind closed doors,
Mm-hmm.
I film that too. Don't you think eventually it's going to leak into how they treat their children, their moral law of their kids, and how that could conflict with what's happening with their Christian values,
Mm-hmm.
which ultimately could affect their Christian school and their Christian classmates,
Mm-hmm.
which would may infect a whole bunch of other kids, which their parents are paying a shitload of money to put there so they can get away from that, so they would have Christian values. Because the teachers and the principals can only do certain things. As you know, the peers have more influence than a teacher would.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're instilling that this is okay, then you're telling all the kids that this is okay.
Mm. So in your position, you think it's just contradictory.
100%.
So, but it's a slippery slope by doing that.
Of course it is.
So that means like anything that's on site that goes against it could
Wait, Owen, you got to remember what they said. One of the options they gave to her to do, if you didn't want to remove your decal, do you remember they said in the video? Park across the street.
Mm-hmm.
Don't come on our property.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with that?
Mm.
If you want to do this, they gave her options: remove the decal, park across the street. I think those are two valid. They didn't say stop your immoral, which, listen, at the end of the day, it is immoral. It should goes against their Christian values. They didn't tell her to stop earning a living.
Mm-hmm.
That would have, let's be honest, I'd be going
She's
a little
making
too far.
20 racks a month.
Yeah. By the way, did you see how many people actually, when it comes to OnlyFans, did you see the average person makes less?
Nothing.
Makes nothing. And then the average person, not even the high earners, the average person makes less than flipping burgers at McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Less. So you're putting your coochie on there for like the whole world to see, and you can never remove that.
It lives on the internet
for less than flipping burgers. Like, think about this: young girls, young women, stop at these OnlyFans pages. Oh my God! Like, listen, it'll come and bite you in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not all earning. Not everybody's earning millions of dollars. Most people aren't earning a damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching that stat. I'm like, holy shit! So, if you're earning $11 an hour, you can make burgers for $15 an hour, and you can keep your moral integrity. Do the right thing. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, we're talking back about this kid. So, they gave her an option, but she wants to have everything.
Yeah.
No, this is my right. I can aim and do. I'm like, again, or drive a different car.
Mm-hmm.
Drive across town. Do whichever you want to do. Again, I still think it's a slippery slope in general. I just think that the morals are wrong in that home, but again, the Christian school then say, because they are giving the kids an option. We like your kids.
Mm-hmm.
We want your kids here. They're good kids. So they weren't saying to her, didn't give her options. And I understand that. You're making other people uncomfortable. You are bringing Satan into a Christian school in a sense, is what they're saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get it. So of course, I'm glad that the school stood up against them. But then you have now the flip side.
Mm-hmm.
There was here in Ontario, I think it was Ontario, where that kid tried to stand up for women. It was a high school, because there was guys pretending they're being transgender and they were changing in the girls' bathrooms.
Yeah.
And it was a Catholic school. And he said, and the girls were feeling very uncomfortable and stuff. So he tried to stand up for the girls and said, this is not right. He got expelled because he was standing up and had a rally to say that girls' bathrooms should just be for girls in a Catholic school. So, which is supposed to be Christian. Again, I still don't think Catholics are Christians, but that's a different story. But under the veil of Christianity, look at the difference. The poor kid who's trying to help females who felt uncomfortable, but because that's not what the woke public wanted, he gets expelled.
Even
he gets expelled.
Even like this rugby team out in was it Newmarket or something like that, but they had like a grown ass guy. His name was Ash, playing rugby with like little girls, just pulverizing all of them, and they were just normalizing.
Yeah. Or what about the ex-Marine who's now joined university and is playing basketball?
Yeah.
And the coach is like, I can't block. What do I do? And like when he jumps up, punch him in the dick. Punch her in the dick.
Punch her in the dick.
And it's like, this is getting,
getting out of hand.
Or that when I was in, when we were in Mexico, I was watching there was a Seneca versus Humber game, but the volleyball game, in which they had 5 transgender men.
As women.
As quote unquote women. And the poor biological girls, which have been struggling their whole lives to make it on this team, were just sitting on the sidelines. And I was like, I don't get it. I don't think, anyway, that's a whole different
topic.
So we're talking about morality of that too, but when it comes, let's bring it back to the Christian school. Let me ask them that I would sit down with the parent before I'd expel them and say, why did you bring your kid to the school? If it's just for the education, okay, well then this is probably not the right school for you. If it's here for moral upbringing, correct moral upbringing, because this is the way you want your kid to like, you can see how this is affecting it tarnishes our school. You can see that. Here's your options. So I don't see anything wrong by this.
From a societal level, as we work towards wrapping up, where do we're
blowing through this one.
Where do we draw the line, right? For it might be private, it might be public, but where do you draw the line where someone who you don't align with their beliefs, you are removing them from having opportunity towards certain things like a job, towards a social circle? We should all be like welcoming other people's beliefs as long as they're like, okay, you know what? I might have a different political view. And I think even though you might not agree with everything that's going on, if that transgender person came and was like, you're 100% respectful. You're like, hey.
Well, listen, I have transgender tenants. You know, like I have a non-binary. I have non-gender. I don't judge them. They're great people. Not everybody in the world's great. Just because you're straight doesn't mean you're great either.
Yeah.
But we had Thomas's dad who was gay. Obviously, he's gay. Like, I have gay clients. I have transgender people in my life, and it's like they get. I don't even judge them that safe. I treat them.
You see them as people.
They are people.
Yeah.
But it's when you are trying to screw people over is why I have a problem with.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're trying to push your agenda. Not even your ideology. Like, listen, I don't push my Christianity on people.
Make them think the way they think.
Right. Because if you don't see it the way I see it, you're scum of the earth.
Yeah.
I don't care if that's religion. I don't care if that is sex. I don't care if that's I don't care what that is. If you're forcing somebody to think something like that's immorally wrong to me. When I talk about Christianity, when I started Christianity, I used to almost like get upset. I was trying to force people. And I was like, Natalie, brought me in. She's like, you came to God your own certain way. And other pastors said it too. And they're like, you can introduce Jesus, but you'll have to let the Holy Spirit do work. There's no works you can do to change people. It's the same thing with other ideologies. People have to come into it earnestly on their own. You can't force somebody to do it because, even with God's love, God gave us free will for a reason, because when you come to him, it's a genuine love. I can force you to love me. Is that going to be a genuine love? Because it's not even there. It's a fake love.
It's forced.
Yeah. So anyway, my point is like, you can't force those ideologies, religion, no matter what. So yeah, I'm open and I love, like, listen, I used to coach women's hockey for crying out loud, where it's like 75 to 80% of them were gay and stuff too. And I still converse with them. I love them. I think they're like, I have had no problems with them. But I think the fact that I get judged because I'm a Christian, that I'm obviously going to hate these people, is absolutely wrong. Wrong. And we have to stop that. We have to stop that right now. And the same thing with this stuff. If something is morally wrong, we should be standing up and saying it's morally wrong. And it also doesn't make fucking sense how you can bring your kid to a Christian school for the values and then do something which is totally against Christian values. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah. She must be, her head must be, she's off her rocker for sure. Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyways, everyone, thanks for joining the DC Talks podcast. Hope you enjoyed this discussion. Let us know what you think in the comments on David's Instagram or our YouTube channel. And don't forget to rate, review us on Apple Podcasts and also on Spotify. I would definitely love to hear your thoughts on this. I know the clips are going to go hot. And we'll see you next week for episode 67, where we discuss with Miss Laura.
Yeah. So Laura Stewart should be on.
Yes. Anyways, guys, have a great week and we'll talk to you soon. Ciao.
Bye.